Arizona's infamous and spectacular Grand Canyon is home to an active volcano. You heard that correctly. Not only did this volcano, known as the Uinkaret volcanic field, last erupt a mere 925 years ago, but it has during its lifespan repeatedly sent lava flows cascading down into the bottom of the Grand Canyon, creating unbelievably stunning lava falls which measured a full kilometer, or 3,281 feet tall, which fell down 1.7 billion years of exposed geologic rock. For comparison, this is larger than the tallest waterfall not just in the United States, but on the entire planet. And while today there are no active lava lakes, no degassing vents, and no frequent earthquake storms, this field will certainly erupt again in the future, with the sheer number of geologically young lava flows that cover certain areas of the Grand Canyon's north and south rims being proof of this. For example, here are all of the numerous lava flows that the Uinkaret volcanic field has produced during effusive to mildly explosive eruptions during the last 100,000 years. Several of these lava flows were even able to temporarily dam the Colorado River, eventually leading to catastrophic dam breaches which released up to 650-foot-high walls of water that generated catastrophic flooding more than 30 miles downstream, which, for reference to a specific flood 165,000 years ago, translates to this area. However, since very few people live nearby, despite the risk of another lava dam forming, the main hazards any future eruption this volcano might produce are wildfires generated by advancing lava flows and minor ash emissions that might ground some regional air traffic for a time. It is for this reason that the U.S. Geological Survey designated the Uinkaret volcanic field as a very low-threat volcano. As a whole, this fascinating active volcanic field can be found primarily on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, approximately 110 miles northwest of the city of Flagstaff, with river exposures of volcanic products being seen between mile markers 178 and 188 of the Colorado River. The Uinkaret volcanic field spans an area of approximately 565 square miles, consisting of 213 separate known volcanic cones, each of which are monogenetic. Two major fault lines largely mark the boundaries of the Uinkaret volcanic field, that being the Hurricane Fault to the west and the Turowip Fault to the east. Both of these lengthy fault lines are theoretically capable of producing magnitude 7 earthquakes, but in the case of the overall volcanic field represent paths of least resistance for magma to intrude into, possibly related to lithospheric drip which uplifted the Colorado Plateau. The first eruption from the Uinkaret volcanic field occurred 3.6 million years ago when low silica basaltic lava breached the surface on top of a 240 million year old sandstone plateau 15 miles north of the Grand Canyon's northern rim. Since the two vents which fed this eruption were located right next to cliffs, they were unable to build a tall profile. As such, only small amounts of lava flowed onto this mesa, forming the newest layer on the tallest feature in the overall volcanic field, Mount Trumbull. Over the next 400,000 years, numerous vents erupted to the north, forming more than 24 cinder cones. Associated lava flows from these cinder cones sometimes flowed rather far, up to 5 miles from the erupting vent. Then, 3.2 million years ago, this volcanic field became dormant. For the next 2.35 million years, no additional eruptions occurred. 850,000 years ago, this volcanic field awoke from its dormancy with an eruption that occurred within the depths of the Grand Canyon itself, with lava pouring out of a 1,500-foot-long fissure which subsequently flowed into the Colorado River. After a series of additional small-scale eruptions in the same area, volcanic activity moved to the east. Beginning 700,000 years ago, multiple large-volume eruptions occurred close to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. These large-volume eruptions quickly flowed downhill and into the Colorado River, often forming lava dams. At least 17 of this field's 213 vents formed these dams. While eruptions within or adjacent to the depths of the Grand Canyon occurred, some eruptions happened further north. Many of these more northerly cinder cone-forming eruptions occurred in a straight line along a hidden fissure or fault in the crust. The most recent eruption from this volcanic complex occurred in 1100 CE. This eruption started with a several hundred-foot tall lava fountain, after which a series of small explosions began. Over the course of this several-month-long eruption, lava flowed up to 2 miles away, depositing a fresh layer of dark black volcanic rock. By the time this eruption had ended, one small cinder cone and an adjacent spatter cone had been built. This eruption was relatively small, rating as only a 1 on the Volcanic Explosivity Index. As a final note, I would like to thank my new YouTube channel member Ida Mizzles for supporting my work.